Hi, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your April 2020 general mini cross reading. I have already done some meditation and shuffling on your sign. I do have with me today the Radiant White deck. I think next month I'm going to use a different deck, okay? And then we'll have the Levitas Abilis here. And you're going to get an opportunity to formulate 2 questions to the oracle cards. And those oracle cards will be the Greek mythology cards and the angel answer cards, okay? So let me go ahead and turn the camera around. It looks so close up because I had to find my old webcam, and for some reason, for all this money that I paid for this MacBook Pro, there is no way to control a camera on this device. I think that's just the crappiest thing ever, but whatever. So let me go ahead and turn the camera around. We'll do another shuffle and another rifle, and we'll get directly to the reading. Hopefully you'll be able to see. So even though you're able to see the cards better, there's no automatic zoom or focus. You see what I mean? So it is what it is. And, oh, wow. Right in the center, this is where we are, the Hermit. Let me go ahead and, the Hermit is an interesting card because, first of all, it represents the sign of Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. So this is really about ideas. Mercury rules learning, communications, what else am I trying to say? Well, anyway, Virgo is the sign of work, service, and duty. It rules your health. Your health is your wealth. Are you taking care of yourself so that you can work longer? If you can do that, you can make more money and prosper more. But it is also about, not Virgo, but the Hermit himself is this solitary figure who, standing alone on a mountaintop with his staff for support, and perhaps also for defense, he's frozen in, not necessarily in time, but he's frozen in place so that he can gain some clarity on whatever the question is that he has for himself. And not only is he questioning something for himself and seeking the answer, but he also holds that lantern out so that others may seek him out, can find him, and he can share with them what they know. So sometimes this card represents someone who's single, or at least alone, or feels alone, or spends a lot of time by themselves. But it's mostly because of contemplation, okay? If this is a male, he will be a single male. A solitary male, maybe not speak a lot either, that's what hermits do. They kind of go within. So, they separate themselves from all of the white noise to seek the answers. So here we are. What is the foundation, or what we know to be true? It is the Two of Wands. So obviously there's a decision here. And right now, you're kind of in a space, if that makes any sense. Near or distant past. I'm trying to get this all straight so I can. Oh, wow. The Knight of Pentacles. Well, this is great. I'm going to tell you something. The Knight of Pentacles is always a good card because we could have the negativity, but I've always seen him show up, and usually he brings welcome news. And it is news that has been a long time in coming. It can be of a financial nature because he holds this pentacle in his hand. So, but the pentacles, as I always tell you, is not always financial. It is the doing of something, how you do things, the physical act of doing things. So for me, Knights always bring not just messages and news, but they start to move a situation along. And so this tells me in this position that there was some situation that was maybe kind of stuck. Maybe you got a bunch of resumes out. You're waiting to hear back from people. Maybe you're considering changing careers, or maybe you're, put in for a promotion and you haven't heard anything. So here you are, you're trying to make a decision about, well, I haven't heard anything. What do I do now? And then, this news arrives. So that moves the situation along. It doesn't move it along as fast as you want it because he's a very slow knight. I mean, you can even look at just the horse is big and lumbering. It's not a quick and nimble beast, right? And so what I like about this particular knight is he does not have the wings on his helmet or feet, as does the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Cups. I think even the Knight of Wands. I don't know. I'll have to look if he shows up. But he's got this green feather, okay? So he's a different kind of a knight. Now, the unknown factor, well, it is the Page of Cups. So now I have two court cards, but this moves the situation along, and this is news. And this tells me that whatever this news is, it comes somewhat as a surprise to you, but also that it is something that's makes you feel emotional, typically in a good way. I don't see anything at this point that's negative. I don't feel anything that's negative. And the near distant future, well, the Two of Pentacles. So there are two twos here. This is quite interesting. Twos represent a choice, an option, a duality, sometimes an opposition. And this could be why you are standing in the hermit energy. You got choices to make, right? Maybe you got to choose between two different things and you don't know what it is to do because both of them seem to be pretty damn good, right? Okay. So what is underneath the deck? Movement, my friends, movement. The Eight of Wands, sometimes called the arrows of love. So they say, it could be, it's news coming in and it could be of an exciting new partnership. Well, I tell you, the two twos speak to a new partnership, engagement, proposal. Okay. And so this could be in any sense. It could be friendship, business, romance, all of those things. So this whole idea that this might be a solitary male could be so, but this could also be you. I tend to think, and this is what I'm sensing, I'm feeling that this is more so on a work career front than it would be on a romantic front. But, I could be wrong. My website address is there at the bottom. It requires a personal reading to figure out exactly if this is romance or business for you. Maybe it's both. I don't know. That requires a personal reading. This is just general. So what I have here is really something that looks to be quite, let me say, positive, something that you might be able to look forward to. This Eight of Wands, we don't know where these arrows are coming from. They're not aimed at anything. They're simply flying through the air. So that implies speed, typically within 8 days. If I had to give you a, a timing on this. So I'm going to say 8 days to 2 weeks, right? Because it's different for everybody, depending on what your life story is. Typically, this card represents the energy of Mercury in Sagittarius. So it speaks to news coming from afar. Okay. And afar could be like from, one side of the state to the other, or the other side of the country to the other, or from overseas. This will sometimes indicate travel by air, having to take a flight to go someplace, usually of a business nature. And so there's a lot happening here in this spread. Even though you may not see that, there's really not a whole lot of movement here. We even see those two ships in the background. But I think this is because you're going to have to juggle a couple of things. Once this starts to move, you're going to have several things you're going to have to keep up in the air. And the question is, can I do it all and do it well? This card says, yes, you can. So let me see if I can come up with any information extra. I cannot look at the court cards because they represent not necessarily people, but always news and messages to me. When I'm doing personal readings is when I take in the messages of people, okay? It doesn't always come out that way, but there you have it. So we're going to look at these two twos here. And we're going to be looking at the Two of Wands. And then we're going to look at the Two of Pentacles to see if they tell us anything. Nothing about the Two of Wands next to the Hermit. Okay. So now let me just look and see if there's anything about this 8 that has appeared above the reading. Nothing about the 8 as well. And then we're going to look at these Two of Pentacles here. One second. I'm just trying to get over there and see what it has to say. No, it tells me nothing about the Two of Pentacles either. So I don't see really a reason to pull any Sabilas on this. So the question is, you know, am I going to hear back from, you know, this place? Am I going to be able to move forward with whatever this? I would say the answer is yes. Of course, again, that is not true for everybody. I'm reading for lots of Piscean people here, that to, you know, actually verify that for yourself does require a personal reading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow you now to formulate one question for the angel answer cards. You have you have choices. That's the important thing. And this whole idea of, I don't know, because I mean there's coins on the front side of the Hermit and the back side. So, you know, definitely doing something new, moving, traveling, possibility of business, ventures, all of that stuff. I see that here. So here is your card. That's funny. The cards are so funny sometimes. And that's for some of you who are like questioning. I don't know if what she's saying is right, or I don't see anything yet. Okay. As I always tell you in this reading, because it is general, for some of you this has already started. For some of you this will be coming up here this month, and for some of you it will play out into the month of March. So let's see what we're going to pull this card. Oh, wow. Okay, so your first card is look for a sign. And this is for those of you who may be doubting because you haven't seen anything yet. The second is Apollo, the god of light. Now, if Apollo appears, if he manifests as a person, this is somebody that you can follow. This is somebody who is a rock star, knows a lot, charms people, very powerful in his own right. So it goes back to that single male thing that I was talking to you about. So let's read. Look for a sign. Now, sometimes you got to know for yourself, right? Your angels have a very special and specific answer to your question. You can expect to see signs right away that will have deep meaning to you. Now, they give an example here. Many people see white feathers to indicate that their angels are with them, or they may smell scents from their childhood that they connect with a family member. Signs require focused attention. So be awake to the possibilities. Do not mistake synchronistic events for mere coincidences at this time, as they are messages especially designed for you. Sometimes we become arrogant and think that whatever's happening, I don't believe in coincidence. Well, you know, nothing happens by randomly. It may seem like a random set of events that happen, but it doesn't happen randomly. There's always some kind of design in it. I have been watching what I can watch of it, the George Floyd trial of Derek Chauvin. What are the odds that this incident was happening to this man, and there was a mixed martial artist who happened to be walking by who understood what he was looking at with chokeholds, what was happening. What are the odds that off-duty EMT was going to be walking by to attest to the fact that no, nobody ever tried to render him any aid and wouldn't allow me to do it. So all of these events may seem seemingly random, but there is a design there. So don't dismiss the signs, okay? That was my point. Apollo. I love Apollo. He is a rock star. He is the great grandson of Jupiter. And so therefore, all of the benefits that Jupiter has, he has as well, somewhat like through heredity. In the ancient days, the sun and its light were regarded as different divinities. The sun's disk stays in the sky, but the light that is Apollo travels to Earth and is found in many places with many uses, from ripening fruit to healing illnesses. His sharp arrows of light were also useful in battle, making him a fearsome warrior. The sun's central use in astrology meant that Apollo was a god of divination and prophecy. He brought order to the cosmos and returned stars to their rightful places. I mean, he was like the shit. He was. Okay. Apollo is now ready to assist you in any circumstance that requires skill, ingenuity, strength, and stamina. He will cast light, awarding you understanding and determination. If dark has descended and you are battling a serpent right now, you can be assured that Apollo is on the way. Everything about the sun's energy is considered positive, rejuvenating, so that hope will be restored. And you should enjoy affirmation and confidence in all that you do. How many times have I told you guys that the sun provides the ability for you to see clearly whatever it is that you need to see, right? So you don't kind of need to stand around in this any longer. And even if you try, circumstances will make that not possible, okay? And so that is what I have for you, Pisces, for April. I do hope those messages helped you. And I hope to see some of you over at the event with Jessica on April 9th, Jessica Adams. So until next time, namaste.